Hello there, reason people. Pooh Bear here. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at kind of customization. I think of it more as a food for thought of what we can use the randomizer for. The initial sound you just heard was created by this absolutely marvelous rack extension called the ES01, and what was really key about that sound was it was 100% randomized. I haven't touched any of the controls on this rack extension at all. I just purely came up with this random sound. As I say, this is more of a food for thought video, and I was going to let you know some of my thought processes and how I get to my final sort of answers. I wouldn't say they're final answers, they're always evolving and coming up with something new. But what we've got with this particular rack extension was I first of all took my normal randomizer patch and I created a one called 4, which was obviously minus the volume, and I changed the pitch. I think I limited the pitch. And then I actually changed that to one called Basic, and Basic was just literally doing the front controls. I then went for a Basic with sub, so there's a sub oscillator hidden in here, so I was bringing that out and randomizing that in with the patch. Finally I came up with this Basic and Global, and that's actually the one I've got displayed on the screen. And what I did here was I actually split the oscillator, the LFOs into two. I had one button doing the basics, and then I have another button, obviously controlling the other set of LFOs, doing the global settings. And what I found was with this combination I was getting a lot more hits than misses. As I say, this is the whole point of customizing or tweaking the randomizer patches, to try and give us more hits than misses, because you can get quite a few funnies going on. And even with this superb rack extension, when I was randomizing everything, you got some wild sounds, you know, there's some good wild sounds, but there were some wild sounds as well. But I did find that by using this, you know, you get a good hit. You know, so you get a lot more good hits rather than real rubbish. Do one more. Now, some of you may have noticed that obviously when I've got my global going, we've got a couple little things tweaking at the top here. That's purely because the way they've extended the controls. So it's a bit like a lot of controls where you've got to say a tempo sync or not. So really these are like 3 different buttons. You just physically see one, but there's 3 different buttons going on the back end. And people who know mapping, yeah, we get a modifier out and we control that so people don't know what's going on. So my next step after this one was to say, okay, I haven't done anything with the mod matrix at all. So I actually then created one specifically for the mod matrix, and I decided to split that into 4 sections. So I'd done the first 4 mod slots, then the second 4, so on and so forth. Apart from the very last one, I only done 3 slots, and the reason I only done 3 and not 4 is because, if you remember rightly, with the EMI it only supports from 0 to 199, and this rack extension happens to go over 119 supported CCs. So I just dropped the last slot off. And again, as you can see, I've just got my separate buttons, and that's it. So now we can obviously we can randomize these things separately. So I'm just going to reset the device. So as you can see, again, you know, we're getting some interesting sort of things going on. This is quite a good sound because it's got a very slow attack on it, and it doesn't probably blend itself to a slow attack. which actually leads me on to my next little patch I put together. And as you could probably guess, it's actually to do with envelopes. Let's just bring that on it. This is totally different because I have totally rewritten this. And I've done it specifically for envelopes only. And basically we've got this select control here, which is my envelope select, which is just selected between the different CV selects. I've got 7 set up. And the first 4 controls here are to do with obviously attack, decay, sustain, release for one envelope. Then I've got another envelope, and then this final envelope, you can notice it says 4 to 7, so that's really from slots 4 to 7. This is really the base envelope, apart from 5, that's just excluding 5. 5 is totally random. 6 happens to be random, plus this is a base, and 7 happens to be top end, and I'll talk about that one in a second. So now you can hear straight away that sound's changed because I've got what I refer to as my standard, which is a little bit of attack and a little bit of release on it. Then I have my what I call my basic, which is really more to do with sound design, where it's just basically full sustain. You know, it's just a box standard full sustain. What I refer to more of a paddy type thing. Doesn't blend itself too well to this particular sound, which is a real slow attack and a much more slower release. As I say, then this is what I like this. It's a nice little envelope to give you, pulls that sound in. And as I say, if we then go up, we've got a random, and the random is obviously done by the activate button, so you can just see that randomizing away. If I go up one more, probably don't notice the difference, but if I now switch between them, you can see there's a subtle difference because it's taking, this is the base, so I can control, but you know, it's like if that's 0, it's actually stuck up. That's because of, you know, that's what the random patch, so it's adding the randomizer value plus this CC value together to give me the final value. And as I say, and the last one, which is an interesting one, is obviously what I refer to as my top end. And that comes via spiders, and the reason I've used a spider is because purely because I can take the CV signal and we've got a trim knob, and that trim knob is set in the top end, so I can create myself quite a tight window to say I'm only going to randomize between this amount. And obviously I've got a base as well, so we activate this, you can see this is just randomizing a small amount. But I can turn it and say, all right, I want a bit of a higher attack, but randomize it up there. And of course, by changing the tweak button at the back, I can obviously make these slightly wider if I wish to. So quite straightforward, really. So yeah, so I find that in conjunction with the other patches I put together, you can start coming up with some very interesting sounds quite quickly. And as I say, the great thing about this envelope one, it's set up in such a way, all you need to do, as I say, you just change these CC values to the rack extension of your choice, be it an antidote, be it a parsec, or whatever you want. And it's set up and it's ready to go, just change them full values. Okay, I'd be interested to hear some feedback. I'd be more interested to hear what you guys are doing with your patches. Okay, well, happy randomizing and bye for now.